They called it the Widowmaker, a beast born in Detroit's horsepower wars, feared by some, revered by others, and eventually banned. But why? Today, we uncover the shocking truth behind Chevrolet's 409 engine, the power plant that made legends, shook up the streets, and got caught in a web of controversy. This is not just a story about an engine, it's a story of speed, fear, and the line between innovation and danger. Buckle up, this one gets wild. In the early 1960s, America was obsessed with speed. Drag racing was booming, NASCAR was heating up, and Chevrolet, they wanted in. Bad. Enter the 409 cubic inch V8. Originally a workhorse for trucks, the 409 was transformed into a fire-breathing monster by Chevrolet engineers and dropped into cars like the Bel Air, Biscayne, and Impala SS. It was a factory hot rod, straight off the showroom floor. And the numbers? 409 cubic inches, 425 horsepower, 0 to 60 in under 6 seconds. For the early 60s, that was lightning fast. Thanks to pop culture and racing success, the 409 became a legend. The Beach Boys immortalized it in their hit song, "She's Real Fine, My 409." It wasn't just music, it was a movement. The 409 became Chevy's ultimate street weapon, dominating drag strips across the country. Young street racers called it the Widowmaker, a nod to its brutal acceleration and reputation for being unforgiving to inexperienced drivers. Quote, interview style VO, "You didn't mess with a 409 unless you knew what you were doing." But as its legend grew, so did the controversy. Insurance companies labeled big block muscle cars as high risk. Local police departments began cracking down on street racing, and beneath the hood, the 409 had some real challenges. It was heavy. It had a unique W combustion chamber that made tuning tricky. And at high RPMs, it could become unstable, even catastrophic. Some called it temperamental. Others, a death trap. Real story excerpt dramatized. One wrong shift at 6,000 RPM and it was all over. Guys were blowing rods clean through the block. By 1965, the writing was on the wall. NASCAR had started shifting rules to favor safer, smaller engines. NHRA adjusted classes, restricting factory big block dominance. And Chevrolet quietly pulled the plug on the 409. Officially, it wasn't banned, but behind the scenes, pressure from insurance companies, lawmakers, and racing bodies made it disappear. It was too fast, too wild, and just too dangerous for the times. The 409 was replaced by a more refined big block, the legendary 427. But it was the end of the road for the Widowmaker. Decades later, the 409 still casts a long shadow. Collectors hunt for original 409-powered Chevys. Restorers rebuild them with modern internals, taming the beast but keeping its soul. And on the street, you still hear whispers, "That's a 409 car." It never won a championship. It wasn't mass-produced like later muscle cars, but it sparked the muscle car era and left tire marks on American culture. So what can we learn from the 409? That performance always comes at a price, that innovation often dances with danger, and that sometimes the most iconic machines are the ones too wild to last. The 409 wasn't perfect, but it was fearless, and maybe that's why we still talk about it, 6 decades later. From the drag strip, to the street, to the songs we still sing. The 409 may have been banned in spirit, but in our hearts, it still rumbles. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this ride through muscle car history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment about your favorite classic engine.